Let the people sing their stories and their songs and the music of their native land. Their lullabies and battle cries and songs of hope and joy. So join us hand in hand. All across this ancient land, throughout the test of time, it was music that kept their spirits free. Those songs of yours and mine. For those who are in love, there's a song that's warm and tender. For those who are oppressed, in song you can protest. So liberate your mind and give your soul expression. Open up your hearts and I'll sing for you this song. Let the people sing their stories and their songs and the music of their native land. Their lullabies and battle cries and songs of hope and joy. So join us hand in hand. All across this ancient land, throughout the test of time, it was music that kept their spirits free. Those songs of yours and mine. It was back in ancient times, the Bob would tell his stories of heroes and of villains, of chieftains and the glen. Through the passages of time, with passion and of glory, to those who've gone before, I'll sing for you once more. Let the people sing their stories and their songs and the music of their native land. Their lullabies and battle cries and songs of hope and joy. So join us hand in hand. All across this ancient land, throughout the test of time, it was music that kept their spirits free. Those songs of yours and mine. Island land of song, your music lives forever. Its valleys and its mountains, in its hills and in its glen. Our music did survive through famine and oppression. To a generation gone, I'll sing for you this song. Let the people sing their stories and their songs and the music of their native land. Their lullabies and battle cries and songs of hope and joy. So join us hand in hand. All across this ancient land, throughout the test of time, it was music that kept their spirits free. Those songs of yours and mine. Let the people sing their stories and their songs and the music of their native land. Their lullabies and battle cries and songs of hope and joy. So join us hand in hand. All across this ancient land, throughout the test of time, it was music that kept their spirits free. Those songs of yours and mine.
Hey, hello everybody, and welcome to a special edition today of Smell the Glove podcast. I have someone very, very special on with us today, and his name is Liam Kelly. If you haven't heard of him yet, you will. He's turned out to be a dear friend of mine, nice wee man from the posh south end of England. Liam, hail, brother. How are you?
Very good, thanks. Yourself?
I'm doing great, my man. How's everything going?
Yeah, going really well. I've sold a few copies of the book already. I had some good feedback so far. So I'm just looking ahead to launching it and getting things moving with it.
Excellent. So you wrote a book, and this is the second time we've done this, but this is going to be a little different. I want to ask you some more because we're a bit further beyond than the last time we talked. But my question to you is, with everything that's going on, you've written a book called Our Stories and Our Songs, which is the reason why I played Let the People Sing. And tell me about a couple things. I know you're launching the book soon, but I'm going to hold that off for a little bit. but I want to ask you a couple questions about why. Like, why did you decide to write this book? Give me some ideas as to why.
So sort of going through school, I'd always been one of the sort of better ones at writing, but it wasn't the dumb thing. It wasn't the like the cool thing to go writing a lot. I'd always loved football. I played it myself and always loved Celtic. And then sort of as I got a little bit older, I thought, well, it doesn't really matter what people think. I want to go and do something with my writing. And then I thought, well, I don't really want to do anything that's kind of been done before, so maybe I would write myself a book. And it was just a little idea I had in my mind for a while. And then I saw us get beat by St Mirren about 3 years ago in the League Cup. I think it was a semi-final, and I just remember we were driving home later that night from my grandparents' house up in Surrey, and I had the laptop with me, and that's when I thought I'd start writing an introduction to a book. And then just from there, it just wrote more and more. Then I actually gave it a proper structure, and thought I really want to push on with this.
There you go. So you pushed on with this. It's been a labor of love. You've been doing this for how long? How long does it take you to put all this together?
It's about 2.5 years.
Two and a half years. And since the first idea, or since the first you started writing the book?
Since I first started writing, but sort of initially it was going to be a book about everything Celtic. It was, I didn't really have that much of a structure to it, and then I soon realised that it's not that easy. I've got to actually sit down and think, what do I want it to be about specifically, and then that's when I thought, for me, the fans are Celtic, so I thought I want to do something about the Celtic support, but I want it to be different. I want it to be both funny and informative, and then, so basically since I've given it a proper structure, I'd say it's been about 2 years.
About 2 years. So let me ask you this: what have you learned about the support? Because you live in Bournemouth, right? Yeah. Okay, so you're not necessarily no more further removed than we are. I mean, across the pond. But what I mean is, what did you learn that you didn't know about Celtic supporters?
So I learned just an unbelievable amount, not just about the support, but the club as well. Because I thought, sort of where I initially write a little chapter about the kind of backdrop to the founding of the club and the community from where our supporters came from, I thought I knew all about that. And then you realise when you do more and more research, there's just so much history, and it's such a unique club that you can never know everything. So I've, from sort of the club's point of view, I found out things like we held the first official British Speedway meeting at Celtic Park. It was the 4th World Cycling Championships ever in the 1890s. And then from actually the point of view of the support, I'd heard about the break clubs and things like that, but I didn't actually know about the kind of songs that they were singing at that time precisely, and then the kind of things that they would do as well on their travels, how they sort of ran their memberships and things like that. I just loved every minute of it.
So you take it all the way back to what they call break clubs, right?
Yeah. So travelling to games by horse-drawn carriage. They put like their own individually styled banners, usually sort of with a painting of a player on. They put them just at the behind the driver, so it was always on display. And initially they would travel in sort of large convoys together, and it was always quite a political kind of mindset about them wherever they went. And one of the great stories I found was actually going through some of the newspaper archives. I found references to a time when we were away at Hibs and Rangers were away at Hearts. And during the night, as we were both travelling back to Glasgow, our paths crossed, and obviously the inevitable happened. And the Rangers Brake Club actually made some payments to the Celtic Brake Club because they damaged one of our wheels. So we were fighting with them back then, and then they died soon. there's no more.
So now it's just grown into this. So let me ask you a question. What would be, if I were to get this book, and I'm going to ask this basically, and I'm going to ask this for American Tims really, because this is obviously we have a little bit more of a different situation to go ahead and really invite people into what we do as far as from the American standpoint. If I were to, let's say, buy this book and then give it to somebody who doesn't know anything about Celtic or why they should support the club, well, tell me what would be one of the things you would want them to read first. What would be the thing that would say, wow, this is something I really, really want to be a part of?
Well, I've actually got a similar sort of situation with some of my friends that the closest they've seen to Celtic is watching a few videos on YouTube. So I've kind of thought about this a bit, really. There's a chapter which is dedicated to special moments, but ones that are purely created by the support. I'm talking about things here like Beach Ball Sunday, and even things like singing God Save Ireland in unison with the Hibs fans in 1911. There's just so many different moments, and I've gone through the decades picking out really unique things. And I'd say this chapter's the main one to see this is what being a Celtic fan's all about. And you've got like humour, compassion, you've got the togetherness, just like the massive travelling support everywhere, the atmosphere, and big thing as well, I really like the kind of the wit and the banter that we come up with. It goes right through to things like the Scotland Shane banner. There's just so much history and sort of culture as well there. That's my favourite chapter in the book, I think.
You know what the best part about this is, looking at it from a outsider's point of view, looking into what it is that you're talking about. Did you realize that never once you actually said football?
Yeah.
It's like you run into somebody and there'll be Manchester United, oh, we have this best player, oh, and Ronaldo played for us, and we have blah blah blah, and David Beckham and everything else. The coolest part about this is it has nothing to do really with football.
Yeah, I mean,
all this has everything to do with why.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, football does have its place at the club, and it is an important thing as well. But really, if someone asks why do you love Celtic, well, initially it comes from my family background, and then it goes down to the charity, your kind of identity, the culture, the song variety, everything like that. Just that for me is more important than the football side. Although that's not to say the football isn't important. But I mean, there's not too many clubs where you can read a chapter about the special moments, and it can go from singing like a real unique sort of song about the club's heritage through to then having UK record-breaking food banks. It's hard to kind of put it into words. It's just a chapter you need to read, really, just to show. I think even for people that go all the time, sometimes maybe you don't quite appreciate it as much. Maybe if you take a step back and have a look and think, wow, this is unbelievable.
Yeah, funny you say that. When you say take a step back, I assume that most people would think that the book is mostly about people who are in the area and supporters as to why, but that's not necessarily the case, is it?
No, so one of the reasons I kind of put in my second chapter, which is about different views on what the club kind of means and represents, that was to sort of show the diversity of the support. So you have got mentioned some sort of entries from people that are within Glasgow and that go all the time. But then we've got people from as far as Myrtle Beach, like yourself, people like me and my friends that are in Bournemouth and Southampton. I've had entries from other places in the States, Australia, and they're not necessarily all people that have been born in Scotland and moved away either. That's people that are born there and they get it. It's like it's their sort of connection to their kind of history, or just there's so many different reasons why you support Celtic, and yeah, it's just, and they're just as big a fan as anybody else.
I've been on the West Coast and up at 4 o'clock in the morning to watch games. And don't get me wrong. I mean, I realize that our friends in Australia are up at 200, a million o'clock in the morning. I get that, but it takes quite a bit to follow the club if you want to watch it live. It really does, especially if you're not necessarily there. So, but you mentioned something I really want to get at, which is interesting. You talk about something that the club really has going for it that really not a lot. I mean, other clubs do have this arm of the club or the company, if you, however you want to put it. The fact that there is a huge portion of the club that really is more about giving and and being a benefactor more than just being about football itself, and the foundation, obviously the Southern Foundation, and then the club putting the foundation's logo on the back of the jersey this year in Europe, which I think is great. But there's also a component. You mentioned that it's one of the things that you like the most, but you actually took it a step further when it comes to the book itself. You actually are donating the proceeds of the book, correct?
Yeah, so I sort of obviously given Celtic's founding for charity and all the charity work that not just the club do, but that so many supporters clubs and individual supporters do. I mean, that goes right from the food banks through to different supporters function nights. I remember as well reading about John Kennedy's testimonial, which was just full of former players that retired quite a long time ago. I think we got a crowd of 50,000, and the money raised from that actually went to feed 66,000 people. So I thought, well, I feel kind of, not only do I want to, but I feel compelled to, as the book's about Celtic, to do something for charity here. And then I sort of thought, so which charity do I give it to? Because I wanted it to be Celtic related. And then the one that jumped out at me straight away was Downton Proud, with it being set up by JBT's family. After seeing everything that he's done and the amount of sort of joy that he's brought to people, but also just the awareness that he's kind of sort of thought about for Down syndrome and sort of the way that he's changed people's perceptions. I just thought, I'd like to give all the proceeds to them, and hopefully we can get enough money to bring the kids over to Celtic Park.
That's great. So when you contacted Martin about it, what did he say?
So actually, initially, I said to him, hopefully we can get enough money to pay for a trip over for Jay. Maybe there's a certain type of game, be it a cup final or a European night or something that he hasn't done before. And he sort of said, that's kind of you, but you worked hard on the book. Jay does a lot of things. You don't have to do this. And so then we kind of discussed it further, and I said, well, obviously as I considered Matt Downton Proud, said about that, and he was just thankful for it, and he's helped me out a lot. He helped me out with interviewing Jay as well, which is really, really funny and sort of uplifting interview as well. That's in the book. And yeah, he's been great and helped me to promote it as well. I think he's quite chuffed about it.
So I assume that Jay is exactly how he is on video, that he is just excited when you start talking about Celtic.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to give too much of the interview away, because I want people to obviously see it in the book. But there's one bit of it that I will mention, which was I said to him, so if you could go to any Celtic game at all, what would it be? And he sort of started off saying, he doesn't care, just any Celtic game, just get me there. But if he did have to choose one, he'd want them all to go to his house in Lurgan and play in the back garden, and he'd put his granddad in goal. So, although his granddad has had his hip replaced, they'd need a decent defence, but he reckons him and his mates could give them a decent game. He's deadly serious. So,
that's awesome. Yeah. I love that. That is so much. That's phenomenal. So, with that, you've gotten some support from the club, also, correct?
Yeah. So I wrote a few emails up to the club, and I think Paul Cudahy, I dropped my book off to him. He does a bit of work he's the editor of Celtic View. He ran a book club feature on Celtic TV, so he's just got to read through it, check it's it's all okay for them to go ahead to hopefully get an interview on Celtic TV.
So you got Celtic TV, so we'll get to see you all around the world then.
Hopefully. I mean, there's nothing confirmed yet, but I'm hoping that can come off. But yeah, I also wrote to John Paul Taylor, who forwarded a message onto him about, because I was sort of struggling for an image for the front cover, and he gave me a really, really good picture through one of the club photographers, which is of you've got the players doing the huddle against Inter Milan, and in the background all the scarves up to your Neville alone. And I'm actually just out of shot in this photo because I was there that night, and it's just a coincidence that was the photo that was sent, but that particular moment I can still hear in my head how loud that was, and just what a sight it is with all them scarves. So I'm really pleased with that as the cover, and that fits quite well. Yeah.
Thanks to the club for that. That's they deserve. They don't have to do anything, but in this kind of situation, when it comes to this, I think it's great that they do. I really do. I really.
Yeah. I do appreciate that a lot.
Oh, without a doubt. So, my question to you is, with this and everything you've got going on, right? You've got a book launch coming up for this, right?
Yeah. Yes, it's Friday the 30th of October. We've got Aberdeen at home the next day at a lunchtime kickoff. It's in the Hoops Bar at 7:15 p.m. So we've got. I'm just putting together a little presentation now, which I'll sort of kick things off, speak a little bit about the book, and maybe go into a little bit sort of more detail about each chapter, maybe, and sort of give people a taste of what it's about. And then I've got a speaker from Celtic Grave Society, which I think is probably the most important group in Celtic history at the moment.
Yes, I love their work, by the way. Their work is phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, if people haven't seen one of their commemorations before, I recommend having a little look on YouTube, because that's incredible. They bring so much history to life, so I'm really looking forward to their speech, because the guy that's doing the talk for me is going to do a little piece about the history of the support, which, again, they dedicate most of their life to the history of the club and the sport, so they're bound to come up with some stuff you've never sort of heard before. So I'm looking forward to that sort of element of it, and then it leads into live music from Glasnevin, which is always good. I've heard them a few times when I've been up in Glasgow, so I'm really, really looking forward to them playing. And then I've got a few items to raffle as well. There's some artwork that's going to be put up for raffle, which Aidan Cregan, he's a young guy, same age as me, I think, in Belfast. He's just done a real nice sort of canvas painting of the '67 squad, holding up the trophy back at Celtic Park. So that's up for grabs, and I do have a signed book by Tosh McKinley and Tommy Coyne. I'm not sure if I'm going to have it for this night or if it may be for a separate book night. But yeah, I should have something else sort of up for raffle as well. And
so how did you get these guys to want to be part of this?
So I sent an email off to Aidan because I was aware of his artwork before, because he's done some really, really nice paintings and pastoral works. And then he just said, basically because the money from the raffle was going to go to the Grave Society, he was happy to just donate the piece, which was really good of him as well.
Oh, so the donations from the book launch go to the Grave Society?
Yeah.
Oh, good
yeah.
For you, William. Good for you.
It's free to get in, but I will have like a bucket sort of, for any donations to the society, and then I'll sell some raffle tickets. Just as I say, I think they're a really, really important group in Celtic history, and as a thank you as well for them giving up their time coming to do a little speech for me. And yeah, so hopefully I can raise a sort of decent amount for them, and then obviously any book sales will go to Downton Cloud on the night. I've got a few Celtic authors that are there. Matt McGloin's come in, he wrote one of the forewords for the book, and obviously his kind of involvement with Celtic magazines and Celts for Change and the Jungle Boys, he's a great person to have there. then I've got a whole host of other authors as well. I think Matt's actually written a book himself. We've got Paul Larkin, Stephen O'Donnell.
Paul will be there too?
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
beautiful.
and Paul John Dykes, Stephen Murray, Andy
Nice.
Wright. There's quite a few of them coming, and obviously,
How cool is that all these guys have written books, and they're all willing to take time out of their day, and to be there to celebrate what you're, not just what you're doing, but really celebrate a portion of the club that really hasn't been written about yet. I think that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I really do. I'm that makes me even more proud. That's crazy. That's just out of control.
I am, really looking forward to it. It does seem a little surreal, to be honest. Like I've read these guys' books. Some of them have written fantastic stuff, and I suppose that in a way kind of inspired me to go on and do the same myself. But as you sort of touched on there, it's an area of the club which everybody knows is massive. I mean, Celtic fans are renowned throughout the world. It's not just about the support they give to the team, but their whole sort of culture, the charity, the Celtic family. It's so unique that it's difficult to put it into words, but I think I've done it. I've given it my best shot. But yes, it's something that's so important. I'm surprised that not much has been put together about it. So I was sort of pleased to get something written about them.
That's awesome. Good for you, Leo. I've talked to you about this since almost the beginning, and as far as privately, and we had a chance to actually meet in London about a year. It's been a year ago now. And hang out. You got to meet my boss and the person, my partner in crime here, who's with me. And what's really cool, and I want people to realize this, is that you're just a normal dude. You're not. I mean, you work, you go to university, you do what you do, and it's just like this is just something you just added to what you're doing, right?
Yeah. So I was playing football twice a week last year. I go out on a Saturday night. I was doing my A-levels, and I think, so I was doing my first year of my A-levels when I started writing this. And now obviously I work full-time. But yeah, that's why it's sort of after a while, I was up till sort of 3, 4 a.m. sometimes writing, just trying to sort of find enough time to fit it all in. And I think that's why it feels so sort of surreal when I first kind of saw it in print, because obviously it's not my job as an author. It's just something I was doing on the side, and I'm really pleased with how it's sort of all come together. And the reviews I've had back so far from the few sales that I've made I've had 2 5-star reviews on Amazon, and I've not had any bad feedback yet, so I'm really happy with it.
I guess the Huns haven't found it yet to go ahead and bitch about that too, I guess. I don't know.
The only ones I have are people I know, which they seem okay.
So let us into a little bit about you, and that this is now something that this experience now makes you want to go forward, correct?
Yeah. So I sort of had a journalist for a well-respected cycling magazine. He picked up a copy of the book, and he didn't have any idea about Celtic. And when he read a little bit into the history chapter, he was shocked at what he found. Not just in terms of the charity or the kind of sort of national and cultural identities and things, but there's just quite a few unique stories as well that I tell in there about the sort of meeting between Willie Maley's father in the army and Pat Welsh in Ireland, for example. There's just so much unique history, which I don't think anybody can kind of come close to. So he was sort of impressed by the content, but he said to me, he thought it was quite well written, especially for my first book, which was nice to hear from a guy like that. So he sort of pointed me in the direction of a journalism course, which I'm sort of saving up for now. I think I'm going to go ahead with that and try and sort of make a proper career out of writing, but I definitely want to write further books as well. I'm not sure exactly what they'll be about, but I know it's obviously going to be Celtic related. Yeah.
And then from there, the next step for you obviously is to figure out how to market this book. I mean, as of right now, I mean, to get this one out there and try and use it to go ahead and springboard. What are some of the things that you're doing now to get this book out there?
So there's a couple of magazines, but hopefully Celtic Quick News, because Paul Brennan wrote the other sort of foreword, and he does a lot of work with Celtic Quick News. So I'm hoping to get a little piece in there. A big screen message at Celtic Park for the Aberdeen game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, I'm still just going to confirm that because there's quite a strict sort of word count for that, so I'm just trying to make it concise without sort of missing things out. Then I've got obviously the social media side of things. I'm hoping to get another book night sorted in the Greenock Celtic Club, and then I'm thinking about going to a few different supporters clubs around the UK, just to sort of, try and put on separate nights and have, sort of do a little presentation on the book, have some music, and see if I can sell more copies that way. And I've sold quite a few actually already, although it's not been officially launched, just because it was one of the best things I've ever seen in my life, with JBT holding up my book, putting it out on Facebook. Because I've never had children, but I think I love that little boy as if he's my own. That's
awesome. Yeah. Speaking of children, what does your mom and dad think? I know your dad is he's a Celtic supporter also?
Yeah.
Your mom not so much.
Yeah.
Mom not so much in the football.
Mum supports shopping, but I think she's quite pleased that I've managed to write something. She's not actually read it yet. Dad's working his way through it. He said, well, basically Dad's never read a book in his life, but he seems to have enjoyed it, and I can tell he's not just saying it. I think he is quite impressed, because I actually went to get my hair cut the other day, and my dad had gone in the day before, and the hairdresser filled me in, said that he was quite impressed, but he doesn't really give me any credit. But no, he was a Celtic fan, because his dad's Irish, that's where that came from. And he used to always take me up all the time, and then as I've got older, I've kind of started to go on my own a little bit more, because Dad's sort of served his time now. He still watches every game, but golf is quite expensive, and at the moment he's playing a bit more of that than he is jumping the game. But he's still probably going to come up to the book launch, so I hope he does, because it'd be good for him to see Celtic Park as well, since it's all been done up, and to be back up there.
So you're gonna let your dad hang out with the Port Glasgow boys, is what you're saying?
Oh yeah. He's not met them yet.
Oh.
That'd be interesting. He actually used to play football against one of the guys. I mean, you'll know him, obviously, Kevin Cush. He used to play in the same league when he lived down here. So it'd be good for them to meet. I think they got quite a similar mentality, apart from when it comes to drinking. Yes, that'd be good for him to actually meet up with them, and just to be back in amongst it. Because I think the last game my dad went to with me was Brentford away in pre-season, which was a mad away day. And all the kind of songs he tells me to stop playing when I'm at home, he seemed to enjoy quite a bit when we were in terraces. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully he'll come up.
Nice. That's. I know, as a parent, that would to when my child does something like that, they get something like that done, that's phenomenal. And I know your dad. Listen, I've met your dad through Skype before, and I've chatted with him. I know for a fact he's proud of you, so I don't think you have to worry about that. So the question is, how do we get you to? I gotta see if we get you out to the Philly event in February, January, February, so you can do a book launch in the U.S. proper.
Man, that would be amazing.
You have to do that. I mean, Paul did it last year, so he can fill you in on, because he actually, I had a couple of pictures with him when we were out there, and a couple pints, and it is out of control. You get about 300 there and Tim's running around in a bar in downtown Philadelphia, which is phenomenal. But I think that's the last week of January into February 1st, I think. But that would be cool. I got to figure out how we get you and Seamus Cummins together. I might have to tweet the two of you together and see if we can work it out and see if we can't find a way to go ahead and get you over for that, because I think you deserve. I mean, if you're going to do it across the UK, you deserve a US book launch, don't you think?
Oh, that would be good. It reminds me, actually, when you say from the Philly Club, Martin Smith, otherwise known as the driver of the Lenny-mobile.
Yes, Marty, yes.
He's got a little interview in here as well, which is it's interesting. It tells about all the background to sort of how his Celtic car came about, and he's got quite a good story as well from watching Celtic in a friendly over in America. So that'll be good to actually meet up with him as well in person.
That's phenomenal, Liam. So before I let you go, let me ask a couple questions. How do I actually get this book?
So it's on Amazon. That's Amazon EU, Amazon US, and Amazon UK as well. And see, if you're in Ireland, in the Republic of Ireland, you can use Amazon UK. So basically, it's pretty much available all around the world. It's only Australia and New Zealand where you can't actually access it sort of directly, but I'm sure you can still purchase it sort of through Amazon.com. So you just type in on Amazon our stories and our songs, and it should come up. The official sort of subtitle is the Celtic Support, so it's just our stories and our songs, the Celtic Support by Liam Kelly. That should come up, or you can just give it a Google search. If you can't find it for any reason, then if you go onto Twitter, it's at CFCLiamK96. That's my page, and that will have it all there. But I mean, if you come to the launch night, if you are in Scotland, if you come to the launch night on Friday the 30th of October in the Hoops Bar, 7:15, then there'll be signed copies of the book available then. And I'm hoping to have, as I say, a few sort of prizes, and it'd be really good with the speaker and the live music.
Now, you do realize that that's October 30th, when Glasgow is absolutely crazy with people dressing up as superheroes.
I know.
Okay,
I know.
Just checking. Because that's
well, Glasgow should be used to it now with the amount of zombies they see running around.
All right. So what I guess what else I'll have to make sure that I get done is, in addition to that, I'll have to go ahead and a friend of ours is going to be over here next weekend, and I'll have to make sure that I get some Bod Deep stickers and make sure you. We'll have to put. Is there a way, Liam? We can. I can send you a whole bunch. You can put one in each book.
Yeah. If you
for the book launch.
Well, yeah. If you, then I'll give you my address, and then.
Well, Kush will see you at. I guess those guys all see you at the book launch.
Yeah,
so if I just gave him the stickers, he'll be here next week.
Yeah, if you leave them with him, then I'll get them from them at the launch night. And
there you go. You can give everyone a Bod Deep sticker while you're out there. There you go.
People will want them because they've made their way onto the new camp thanks to me, and Buckingham Palace Street.
Isn't that crazy? That's funny. So
I know you've been everywhere.
So let me ask you this: is of all the stories that you heard, which one? I mean, obviously the one that people have listened to the show know exactly how stupid mine is. But what are some? Give me a story without telling the whole thing. But which one makes you go, "Wow, I can't believe that."
Right, give me 2 seconds because there's a choice of two here, and I'm just going to quickly have a look at which I think is probably the best one. Yeah, alright. I think probably the funniest one, and it just encapsulates everything from the kind of noise, the unique sort of culture, and just the banter and the madness. Just basically Celtic band in one. It was a story that I got sent from a guy who posts on Cybertim's website. It was about he gets the train up to Malton. Now, a few people might have already seen this, but I think he posted it up elsewhere. So they're singing all sort of old Irish songs on the train, a few Celtic ones, and everybody's drinking. And so he gets off the train, and there's sort of a guy who's doing keepy-ups with a beach ball inside a phone box, and he starts taking the piss out of the policeman, saying, "Oh, he bets he can keep it off him in the phone box." It doesn't sound that interesting when I say it, but when you read it, it is funny. The kind of banter that you get, and then from there, this guy's been raving about Charlie Nicholas all day. About at this time, he's an up-and-coming player from the reserve side. He's talking about how good he is, how he's going to make his breakthrough, and then they get to Morton's ground and they see that he's in the starting lineup. And so after about 20 minutes, the ball goes through. He's running clean through, and he has a shot, and it beats the keeper, it beats the post, and you need to read the book to find out what happens, because it's absolutely hilarious. It is a mad story. But I mean, there's another one that I suppose that's sort of is a much shorter one, which is just mad, like so many of them are. Is a guy that was meant to be his marriage was basically off if he went to Seville for the UEFA Cup final. So one day he said, "Okay, right, I'm just going to go out for a quick pack of fags." And after going to the shop, he returned home a month later. He had a dodgy-looking suntan and no money, so not too many guesses as to where he went.
Yes, at that point in time, it's like, "Honey, I guess you'll miss me."
Yeah.
Yeah, we all sound like that. We all sound like that in private, and then all of a sudden, it's like, "Oh yeah. No." Anyway, so that I'm gonna do. So let me just recap, Liam. Awesome job. I'm so proud of you to see this whole thing through. I know we hooked up on Let's All Do the Huddle on Facebook two and a half years ago, and I sent you my story, and I it's made it into the book, and I'm just excited beyond belief that it did, that it's in your top 4 or 5 stories, and that's really cool, because I always try to think that Americans or people who haven't been exposed to Celtic, really, if they just look, they would see it. And like you said, it has nothing to do with football. It has everything to do with everything around the club. And then once people see that, and that's what I'm hoping for this, that's really my wish for you in this book, is that people see this, and this book turns into another generation of Celtic supporters, of people that didn't have a clue. Because here in the U.S., it's just like whoever's on TV, but it's always about the player. It's always about, it's never about, quote unquote, the club. It's always about winning in the player, and I'm just pleased as punch to see what you've done. This is phenomenal. So, Liam, congratulations. Just one last time, you can get the book on Amazon.com or .uk. All you have to do is search Our Stories and Our Songs, Celtic Supporters, correct?
Yeah.
And with Liam Kelly, it's LiamKelly. And then the book launch at the Hoops Bar in the Gallagate at 7:15 p.m.
Yeah.
On October 30th. Where your favorite? What is the? Just for a quick question, what's your proposed acceptable attire for this? Would it be to dress up as Hercules, or dress up as what? If I'm going to dress up and go to the book launch, what do you want me to wear?
Well, something you wouldn't normally, because that would be absolutely shite. So, anything goes. It is Halloween, but
it is Halloween.
Yeah, so I mean, if you want to dress up like an idiot, go on, MB Boardeep's Facebook page. Have a look at a few photos, and
you will not find any pictures of me dressed up for Halloween. I guarantee you that. But anyway, so I'm gonna order some Boardeep stickers. I'm kind of running a little low. I've been giving them out, so I'll get some more. And by the time Kevin gets here, I'll make sure that he has some to take home with him, so that we can give you some Boardeep stickers, and you guys get to this book launch. I know that it's whatever it is, it's all going to a good cause, whether it's Celtic Graves or to Downs and Proud and WeJ. So, Liam, thanks so much for taking some time and being with us. I really do appreciate it. I hope the people get the book. I hope that people listen. I'm really, like I said, just excited for you. And the people coming out of the woodworks to help you just goes to prove what this club's really all about. So I'm happy for you. I'm excited for you. And now with this going into, moving forward into writing everything else, God bless you, son. I really hope this turns into more than you ever thought.
Thank you, and I'll see you in Philly in February.
Yeah, I will send Seamus a message right this moment. All right, so everyone, thanks a lot. I'm going to let us out with Let the People Sing one more time. This is for Liam, our Stories and Our Songs. Thanks, everyone. We appreciate you being with us, and we will talk to you soon. Hail, hail, everyone.
Let the people sing their stories and their songs and the music of their native land. Their lullabies and battle cries and songs of hope and joy. So join us hand in hand. All across this ancient land, throughout the test of time, it was music that kept their spirits free. Those songs of yours and mine. For those who are in love, there's a song that's warm and tender. For those who are oppressed, in song you can protest. So liberate your mind and give your soul expression. Open up your hearts and I'll sing for you this song. Let the people sing their stories and their songs and the music of their native land. Their lullabies and battle cries and songs of hope and joy. So join us hand in hand. All across this ancient land, throughout the test of time, it was music that kept their spirits free. Those songs of yours and mine. It was back in ancient times, the Bob would tell his stories of heroes and of villains, of chieftains and the glen. Through the passages of time, with passion and of glory, to those who've gone before, I'll sing for you once more. Let the people sing their stories and their songs and the music of their native land. Their lullabies and battle cries and songs of hope and joy. So join us hand in hand. All across this ancient land, throughout the test of time, it was music that kept their spirits free. Those songs of yours and mine. Island land of song, your music lives forever. Its valleys and its mountains, in its hills and in its glens. Our music did survive through famine and oppression. To a generation gone, I'll sing for you this song. Let the people sing their stories and their songs and the music of their native land. Their lullabies and battle cries and songs of hope and joy. So join us hand in hand. All across this ancient land, throughout the test of time, it was music that kept their spirits free. Those songs of yours and mine. Let the people sing their stories and their songs and the music of their native land. Their lullabies and battle cries and songs of hope and joy. So join us hand in hand. All across this ancient land, throughout the test of time, it was music that kept